Sunday night. See, I don't have the coloured lights on. I knew something was wrong. I've got to turn the coloured lights on. That's a bit better. Alrighty. Heine, it's Musical Aviator is plays in the orchestras. And hi, by the way, Heine and Megaleech. I am going to set up to make a video. I need rum. So it's rum instead of cognac. Okay. Oh, that's actually fun. Okay, Bing's AI thing. He goes, oh, I see you're interested in the Brie de Quay. Brie de Quay is a cocktail recipe, uses rum, bourbon, vermouth, and Benedictine liqueur. It's a variation of Vieux Carré, which traditionally uses cognac instead of rum. The name Brie de Quay means near the wharf in French, suggested by a commenter on a cocktail website who preferred rum over cognac. This is true. And they link to Difford's Guide. Also, the name of a song by French singer-songwriter Georges Brassens, released in 1954. Story of a young man who falls in love with a girl who lives near the quay. The song is part of his second album, Le Vent. If you're looking for things to do near Quai Branly Museum in Paris, you can check out the attractions. It's near the Eiffel Tower. Yes, you need an advisor to tell you to go see the Eiffel Tower. That is a pretty good effort. I'm not sure what generation searchy thingy. I think you're getting very confused with who people are, Heine. I'm not altogether sure. Anyway, I need to get together the elements for this cocktail. Rum and whiskey and sweet vermouth and Benedict. All right, so I need an aged rum. Which rum shall I pick? I mean, aged El Dorado 15, which is from freaking where again? It's a Demerara rum? Yeah, okay, it's a Demerara rum. It's Caribbean, it'll do. Yeah, okay. We're going to use El Dorado. And I'm going to use Michter's bourbon because I don't think I've used it in a cocktail since I got it. Sweet vermouth. Benedictine is in the cupboard. Where's the Benedictine in its very noticeable little bottle? Okay. Right. Double checking the ingredients: Page Shaw's bitters and Angostura bitters. Okay. Page Shaw's bitters, Angostura bitters. Okay, the gang's all here. This is what we're going to use. Okay. So move this light back over here. And with hunky dory, I need to start setting things up. All right, this means, I guess, honestly, if I'm going to be professional about this, I need to get the what you call it? Chickens in charge. Just put the chickens in charge. Wait, what do they garnish a prix du quai with? Lemon zest twist. Okay. Well, I'm going to do an orange twist because that's the way. I like it. Who else remembers Casey and the Sunshine Band? There were so few lyrics in any of their songs, just repeated over and over. Right. What are the chickens looking like? Who's that? Come on, get your shit together, chickens. You're meant to look after things. How can people take you seriously? Yeah, that's probably going to work. All right. Oh, nice. Heidi's keeping a file on everyone. Yes. You're getting a bit more accurate there. Megaleech AI-generated art connoisseur. All right, so... Oh, man, is my fucking peeler in here, or did I take it out to the kitchen? That'd be friggin' typical if I... Oh, no, it's here. Stop panicking, okay? It's here. Okay. Cherries. Peeler. Orange. Muddler. Stay calm, muddler. All right, so. Oh, I didn't put the banner up about chickens are in charge. I'm just going to do that. All right, now get this chair out of the way. Ah, fuck, I didn't charge the batteries on these fucking cameras. That could be an issue. Gosh darn it, I sat around most of the day doing nothing. See what it's on, because this gets very persnickety. 40%, fuck, that'll just do it, I think. Gonna clear the SD card. Formatting. All right. Better not fuck with me, little camera, or I'll get upset. Okay, ringing this around. I was going to do some fairy lights on there, but I don't know I can be bothered. Right. Ah, yes. Safa being Safa. Excellent. Excellent summary of Safa. Just being Safa. Oh my god, Megaleech, you always want more chickens. And I have admitted there are more chickens in the house. I might find some more of them to just have a real menagerie. All right, so that there, this here. Wo ist meine Klamp von meiner GoPro? English, I feel like you're just vibing. Brain go blanky. Ben Solo. What's his Sith name? He's not really a Sith. He just wants to be. Kylo Ren. Wow, why did I remember Ben Solo and not Kylo Ren? That's a bit weird. Yeah, him and his wannabe Sith stuff. When he's got the walkers, the AT-ATs, just firing a barrage on Luke and just screaming, "More! More!" Okay. So we got this happening. Okay, this is all 3/4 ounce, so I need this geo. Let's get everything ready. Oh, the aromas are just coming out of these. Dang. And that. And that. Might as well pour the rum first. All right. This is a stirred cocktail. Oh, for fuck's sake, did I leave my stirrer in the dishwasher? Fucking hell. Honestly. All right, I'm going to have to disappear for, 30 seconds and get this. Dang it. I always forget something can be relied on. Yes, it can always be relied on, but I'll forget something. Alright. At least I remembered before I was making a video. Okay. I can just getting my shit together now. Okay. Ugh. Now I think we're just about ready to go. We will make the video first. Make the video, make the drink, and then I'll talk. Okay. It smells really good here with all these bottles open, I have to say. Like, yes, what's your favourite room air freshener? Eau de Bar. Oh, for fuck's sake. Ugh. All right. What about there? Let's do this. Do this quickly so the battery doesn't run out on the GoPro. Okay. Whiskey. Sweet vermouth. And annoying amount of Benedictine. That's enough, fuck it. Now 2 dashes of Peychaud's. 1 dash of Angostura. Dunzo. Okay. And now, we just start. Man, I brought way too much ice. So. There we go. Seal up my little ice thermos. Alright, first. Fucking hell. How's that going? Yeah, okay. All right, made it without that running out. So that's a plus. Okay, GoPro over there. Light over here. We'll bounce you off the roof. Hey Luke, how you doing? Okay, on Difford's Guide. Huh. No. Wait a sec. Fucking hell. Fucking hell. What's that shit about? Yeah. The cocktail is surprise. Okay. How bad my memory is. Oop, I accidentally got 2 cherries. I just remembered I should take a picture of this. Ah, man, I will get there in the end, I swear. I'll just put the lids back on everything. As much as I have been enjoying the aromas wafting out of them. Right. Oh, wait, that's what I was going to do. I was going to take a picky draw of it. There we go. For the thumbnail and the promotional purposes. All right. Okay, now we don't that's too bright. That make me look washed out and pasty, which might be accurate, but is not what I'm trying to convey. I'm not trying to convey washed out and pasty. So let's see, that's ready. How much battery does this have? Memory card's locked. I fucking hate it when it does that. Ugh. Trying again. The memory card is not fucking locked. I just changed it. Something about this thing. What do we got? 20 minutes? Oh, well, won't take me that long to do it. He said, possibly being falsely confident. Let's go. G'day, cocktail lovers. I love finding riffs on one of my favorite cocktails. And my favorite cocktails these days tend to be on the boozy side. I do particularly love old New Orleans drinks. Vieux is one of my favorites. And I did find a variation on that. Vucare translates as the old square, as in a part of New Orleans. This one takes out the cognac, which is traditionally in Vucare, and puts in an aged rum. And as we've got a nautical theme with rum, the name was changed to Pré du Quai. Vucare means the old square, as in a part of New Orleans. And this takes out the cognac that's traditionally in a Vucare and puts in an aged rum. And the idea was that's got a bit more of a nautical theme, so we'll change the name to Pré du Quai, which means, in that, I apologize for that appalling pronunciation, but it won't get better if I do multiple takes of it. Pré du Quai, to Quai. It basically translates as by the docks, by the wharf, by the quay. So that's what we're going to make today. The recipe says to use an aged Jamaican rum. Well, this is actually a Demerara rum, certainly aged. Eldorado 15-year-old will be using. And for the whiskey, I'm going to use this Michter's bourbon, which I don't think I've made a cocktail with this since I got it. And I like the taste of it, so I'll be throwing that in this one. Also, I am putting it over some of my sexy clear ice. If you want the easiest and most freezer efficient way to do that, I have videos on the channel. I'll actually put a link at the end here on the tutorial of how to do that. It's surprisingly easy, and I'm going to give it a quick taste before I tell you how I made it. And oh, I love those flavors. You know what? I should have done the traditional with the cognac so I could taste them side by side. Oh, well, maybe another day, but this is the type of drink I like. Here's how I made it. In a mixing glass, we put 3/4 of an ounce, about 22.5 mils of an aged rum. Then the same amount, 3/4 of an ounce of the whiskey of your choice. And again, 3/4 of an ounce of sweet vermouth. Then we're going to add about 1/3 of an ounce, around 10 mils of Dom Benedictine. And to round things out, 2 dashes of Peychaud's bitters and 1 dash of Angostura bitters. Add ice to the glass, stir that for 20 to 25 seconds to chill and dilute the drink, and then strain it into a rocks glass over a big chunk of ice. Like I said, I used my sexy clear ice, and then I went garnishes. These are not the traditional garnishes for this, but I went orange peel and cherries, and I accidentally got 2 cherries on my skewer. Oh, woe is me. This is just like earthy, rich, deep flavors, and it's not very aggressive considering the booze elements in it. This is not, to my mind, a very aggressive drink. So if you've never tried a really boozy drink, if you go for the lighter ones, the sours and whatnot, no judgment, but try something like this. You might like it, whether you go Vucare or Pré du Quai. So I've got to stop trying to pronounce foreign words. I am terrible at it. But I make an okay drink. I like this one. I think you might like it too. Give it a go. Until I see you again, cheers. Right, that's it. No more video leaking tonight. Strictly Sega, how you doing? I have got myself a very tasty drink, and neither of my cameras ran out of battery, which is good. Although I should have erred on the side of caution and fucking charged them today. I mean, I have spare batteries for both of them. I'm not a complete rube, but just getting stuff out of the way. I'm going into the goddamn office tomorrow. Stupid fucking idea. Ugh. Okay. Oof. Heine, I think you should be adding just real movie aficionado for Strictly Sega. What do you call it? A cinephile. I was wrong. I just clicked the wrong button. That was the theme as opposed to getting rid of the banner. Oh well. Could you know what he's saying that just reminded me? I don't know how familiar everyone is with Lonely Island, Andy Samberg's musical comedy group. I don't think they've released anything new for a while. They did do a Netflix thing about a fictional pop star, which was actually pretty entertaining. But certainly about 5 or 10 years ago, they were releasing some really well produced and quite funny songs. Things like "Jizzed in My Pants," "I'm on a Boat," and the one they did with Michael Bolton. Uh, and it was very funny. It's just supposed to be like a nightclub song, and they've got Michael Bolton in, and good on him for having a sense of humor because they did make him look quite silly. So Michael Bolton comes in and goes, "Yeah, I've written a big sexy hook for you," and they're singing this sort of funky nightclub song. Yeah, all the chicks are digging us. Yeah, and then the chorus just Michael Bolton does this soaring thing, but he's talking about Jack Sparrow. He's obsessed with Jack Sparrow and the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, and the Lonely Island guys are just looking at him, going, "What the fuck are you doing? Why are you singing about Captain Jack?" Probably doesn't sound all that funny from what I said. But the whole thing is Michael Bolton's obsessed about movies and keeps changing the song to be about movies. And right at the end, the voice goes, "Oh, turns out Michael Bolton is quite a cinephile." Yes, "Threw It on the Ground." That's a fun one. "Like a Boss" is another one. I think for me the two high points though are "Jizzed in My Pants" and "I'm on a Boat." I'm on a boat, motherfucker. I'm on a boat. I'm gonna win lotto and get a boat and just play that through speakers all day. I'm on a boat. Oh, that is fucking yummy. I don't know if anyone's paying attention to my little spiel about clear ice, but this is how you do it. This is meant to be a coffee cup, a huge one, double wall insulated metal cup. You fill it with water, and because of the insulation, it freezes from the top down, pushes all the impurities down, and makes really clear ice. Now, you probably can't see his little curve there. I actually had an ice ball mold that I put in here. So I ended up with a completely clear ice ball, which also looks very cool. I probably should have used it tonight, actually. We'll do it another time. But then I'm just going to have some more ice, another big chunk of clear ice, cylindrical clear ice, as opposed to ice cubes. You can sculpt it. You do get some bartenders who sculpt ice at the bar. Particularly Japanese bartenders are famous for it. But I like the thing, the glass is almost always a cylinder. I do have some squarish, old-fashioned glasses that I don't use very often. But cylindrical ice in a cylindrical glass, it works. I'm a fan. All right, I'm going to close these cocktail windows I've got open. Although I probably should open the Discord just in case. Michael Parkinson was a radical anti-racist as well as a national treasure. Well, good on you, Parky. Oh, Neil Mitchell's retiring. He's a fucking piece of shit. That's in two breaths, an anti-racist national treasure and a gross, ignorant, bigoted right-wing fuckhead. Anyway, I have opinions. What was I doing? I got distracted seeing that. I was just going to open the Discord. Do. Oh, okay. I have to get into Leonardo Megaleech. It actually seems better than the Microsoft free one. These do look pretty cool. Can you get it to do Confederate soldiers fleeing the battlefield? Hey, Mism Creations, how you doing? Day was pretty lazy. No martini, but this sexy number. is a really nice drink with my sexy clear ice. So these are images with the prompt, realistic picture of a 6-headed rubber chicken hosting a live stream. So I love that it's just done them individually. At least there's 6 in that one, because it's usually quite bad with numbers, but there are 6 of them, although some of them do seem joined together. Oh, you're so edgy, Blur. You're wacky and edgy. Oh, I feel triggered by your edgy joke about supporting slavery. You're so fucking funny and edgy. You totally fucking owned me, man. You're not a stupid fucking cunt at all. I mean, Jesus Christ, try harder, you little bitch. Yeah, when there's only 5 of them here, and it can't be multiple heads. PDFs, they're different depending what's in them. So, also, again, you're super original and edgy and not at all a sad, fucking embarrassing loser. You should hold your head up high and go, literally everyone who ever comes across me in my life comes to the conclusion that I'm a sad, pathetic, worthless loser, but they're all wrong and I'm right. You're just too edgy for everyone. No one can hold a candle to pure edge. It's just like you just everyone's overpowered by just what a wild and crazy and edgy guy you are. Like when they say you're a worthless piece of shit and I'm never like hanging out with you or speaking to you again, it's because they're jealous. It's because they're jealous of what an edgy, cool, hip dude you are. And you can take that to the grave, that you are just too edgy for people. I mean, you could also, I don't know, fuck off because you're boring as hell. Jesus Christ. Sad, tiny-minded little boys who think they're super fucking edgy and can never come up with anything. Also, I did know, so Mizm, happy birthday tomorrow. Cheers to your birthday. I won't be streaming tomorrow, so I have to say happy birthday to you now. It's other. I think there was one more. Sorry, I got distracted by the thing. I think there's at least an okay chance that a certain bit of bait of mine has worked, but we shall see. Yeah, you picked it, Megaleech. Godfather, why am I angry? Gestures vaguely at the entire world. I have always found, not always, there's no absolutes, but I find quite often people who say anger is a bad trait are usually doing something really shite that we should definitely be angry about. That's, my opinion. If you can go through your life without being angry, more power to you. But I was going to show one more chicken picture, I think. Did I show this one? Oh, there's this weird little human hand in the foreground. Oh, and there's one white chicken in the background. It's done the yellow rubber chickens, and there's one white one hiding in the background. Interesting. Now back to the good part. Yep, the stupid, sad loser bait is working. Sad, sad. Poor little boys. You're going, I'm edgy. I'm really edgy. I say great stuff about, I'm going to trigger the libs and wear a red hat and say Trump. I'm just desperately overcompensating for what a sad, pathetic loser I am. And it's just kind of funny. I didn't know how well the bait would work, but it did work. Kind of fun. I'm also suspecting those two little saddos will probably message their other saddo pals and say, "Oh, let's get a half on this guy." Like I will actually probably stop engaging with them now because they're just so goddamn boring. It's like the capital sin for me is just like, yep, just be a real sad, boring little twerp. And I am going to lose patience with you very quickly. Very, very quickly. But, it's kind of fun when you throw bait. It's like throwing chum on the waters. And then all the what are the stupid fish with the big mouth, like catfish, bottom dwellers that swim, slurp up mud and shit in the bottom. And you throw some bait into the water and they come up with their stupid faces and their big open mouth going, "No, I'm going to take the bait. I'm going to take the bait." And well, I suppose it gives me a momentary amusement to have suckered one of these complete fucking idiots. But, I got to amuse myself somehow. It's... oh, dear. It's just funny to me that really boring, stupid people who just spend their lives being dicks to people expect people to play on their terms. And it's like, yeah, no, you're actually pretty boring, dude. My guy, you're just like boring, and I have no interest in indulging you and your boring shit. I'm just closing a few tabs I had open. Yes, okay. I've got everything under control. Everyone, stop panicking. I've got it under control. Oh, god damn it. Oh, yeah, there was. All right. Just looking at things. I was going to bring up the news headlines to see if there's anything fun. And we'll see. Did I miss anything in the world today? Occasionally get very surprised when I look up news headlines and there's something big that I actually missed. I certainly have not been paying a lot of attention to the world today. It's just a bit of a chill out and a sleep in. Okay. Oh, God, there was a ridiculous conservative forum this weekend that was full of Nazis and white supremacists. It's like, God damn. Okay. Ooh, what's Zuckerberg saying about people who work from home? Oh, he's got a 3-day... Oh, what happened to the metaverse, Zuckerberg? You fucking loser. Fall short of living 3-day-a-week requirement could lose their jobs. People assigned to an office need to spend at least 3 days per week in person to foster healthy relationships and strong collaboration. What about the metaverse, Zuck? Isn't that a great thing that works and is awesome and stuff? You fucking loser. Control freaks. That's what it's all about. It. Control freaks. I'll go into the office, and I'm going into the office tomorrow and Tuesday, for that matter. But going in for specific reasons, like this vague general, oh, no, you have to go and it's no kind of proved it doesn't. Also, because like my work's all based on deliverables. It's like, here's a bit of work you have to do this bit of work, and I'll do it. Like if I was not doing the work I was assigned, I would expect management to go, hey buddy, you're not doing shit you're meant to do. What's that all about? I actually have no problem with someone saying, we assigned you a bunch. Okay, see, I'm still trying to get this to come out. Sorry, I'll finish my thought. If someone comes to me saying, like, we assigned you a bunch of work and it doesn't appear to have been done, fairly reasonable thing for them to bring up, quite honestly. But I tend to get my work done ahead of time, and I do extra stuff. That's okay. And you've only got one eye. Okay. And you're a bit one-eyed about your fandom favoritism for physical media too, right? Was that in poor taste? I don't know. I'm a very poor judge. Yum. Oh, that was a nice fucking drink. Sorry, the other thing I was going to do. Okay, so I've still got my eyes. One downside. Well, actually, I'll give you two downsides of doing clear ice with one of these. The process of actually freezing it takes ages, like several days. I put this in on Friday, and I just took it out a couple of hours ago, because the process, instead of freezing from all directions like a normal ice cube tray does, this directional freezing is very gradual, so it takes way longer. So you've got to be patient. Second thing is, unlike an ice cube tray, this metal thing, you can't flex it. You can't get the shit to come out any sooner. You've got to let it's got to melt a little bit, so it's no longer sticking to the cup, and then it'll slide out. And that takes hours. That actually takes hours. This has been in here for at least 3 hours, I think, out of the freezer. So I do it upside down, because then the weight will eventually pull it out. I'm really hoping it does it on the stream, because it's like ASMR, but gross, because it's this weird suction thing. It makes this really full-on slurpy noise. So I'm hoping it does it during the stream, not least, well, for two reasons. One, I'll have to put it back in the freezer and start all over tomorrow if it doesn't come out by the end of the stream. But two, I want everyone to hear the weird, gross noise it makes when it comes out, because it can be quite loud as well. I know one time I was in the kitchen, and Mrs. Anger was in the kitchen too, and it just suddenly reached that point, and it went, and she's like, "What the fuck was that?" The whole thing. All right. I have another drink. I got my clarified coffee. See, this is perfect. Clarified clear cocktail on clear ice. No, I was going to pull more of it in there. It's like, no, I actually don't want to get absolutely hammered tonight. If it was party night, I would have put more in there. But, it's a Sunday, and I'm getting up a little bit early to go into work tomorrow. So I'm going to be a bit circumspect. Have a couple of drinks, but certainly just not overdo it. Gonna be Mr. Responsible. You feel like you should. Not racist. So what's that? Who had that joke? My shirt that says "not involved in human trafficking" raises a lot of questions in public that are answered by my shirt. Okay, well, this is okay. Apparently, there's two classifications of staff at Facebook. I refuse to call it Meta. If you're assigned to an office, they're going to force you to go in at least 3 days a week. But if you're assigned as a remote worker, You are not to visit the office more than 4 days every 2 months without a clear business reason. Wow. Wowzers. Ugh. Again, just these people who just arbitrarily. Oh, right. I get what you're saying. Well, oh God, that's a bit harsh. I know we all make jokes about Collingwood. Um, I think that would be if you were doing it seriously, like saying to someone, "I'm assuming you're racist because you support Collingwood." That's really dickish. Um, we've got no real problem with making jokes about various things, but if you're going to be really judgmental, 4/5 of Australians have failed to get a bivalent booster. So, well, you all should get it because I got one. Thousands of ocean fermented wine bottles destroyed in the US. What's that about? Some things don't belong at the bottom of the ocean. According to Santa Barbara County, includes unpermitted crates of wine. So these were sold by the company Ocean Fathoms. Starting in 2017, the company was sinking crates full of bottles without obtaining a proper permit from the California Coastal Commission and the US Army Corps of Engineers. Crates of wine were submerged about 6 kilometers off Santa Barbara Harbor under 21 meters of water. Bottles were left to ferment for a year, after which they were plucked from the environmentally sensitive waters, sold for up to $500 each. Ocean Fathoms lauded the seafloor off Southern California coast as the perfect environment to age wine. 12 degrees, no oxygen, no light, and rolling currents. Why would you not get permits if you got told you needed permits? So the bottles got destroyed and they had to pay $50,000 restitution to an investor. Ooh, it's the anniversary of Trotsky getting an ice pick in the head. Okay, little joke that probably needs some context. Back in the day, it's actually when I was in Sydney and was moving in political circles, anarchists mainly would shit talk the communists, particularly the weird fringe communists like Trotskyites. So a friend of mine, just to wind up the Trotskyites, he had a joke. He'd say at things where there's a bunch of communists about, like, why did Trotsky get an ice pick in the head? Answer, because he was a fucking trot. It's like a spectacular non-joke, but specifically designed to upset Trotskyites. Oh yeah, no, strictly Sega. But Christ, that was hardly limited to Collingwood fans. It was all those shithead talking heads in the media who would just go, "It's not racism." It's like, dude, it fucking is. It's absolutely surreal that they wanted to assert the way crowds and what crowds were shouting at Adam Goods wasn't racist. It's very bizarre. Ooh, is there a catastrophic storm bearing down on the US? Oh, it's a hurricane warning. Oh, Christ, I saw stuff in Mexico. Is it Hillary? Hurricane Hillary? Fun name. Was just causing this just over the top flooding in Mexico. Like in cities, the main streets were just like raging rivers. Oh my God, it was so full on. Ugh. Oh, yeah. Fucking love clarified cocktails. They're so yummy. Tastes really grapey. It's got nothing grapey. Oh man, that's so fucking yum. Slightly regretting how disciplined I am and that I didn't pour myself an absolutely huge drink. I'm just going to. Lion's Mane and Turkey Tail. New Wave Wellness making big money. That's a whole thing. What even headlines from ABC News? Ooh, Russia's Luna 25 spacecraft crashed into the moon in an uncontrolled orbit. Okay. Oh, yeah, that's depressing. I don't want that. World Cup. Who's meant to clean the kitchen? Football Club pulls newsletter after controversial opinion piece. Well, that sounds good, doesn't it? Oof. What's the point of economics journalism? That's a great headline. Spoiler alert, there isn't any. Because it's all made up and nobody cares. Even in a housing crisis, Australians can't get enough of renovation stories on TV. Oh dear. It's called Living Vicariously. Oh yeah, no, that you're right, Strooky Sager. It was absolutely it was an exceptionally bad thing. And yeah, I absolutely understand why for a period you don't want to follow them anymore. That it was just fucking appalling. And honestly, as I said, made worse by all these talking heads in the media, Eddie McGuire being among the worst of them, trying to say, oh, it wasn't racism. It's like, really? What the fuck was it then? Okay, you're saying the Geelong fans are really nice. No, well, that's good. I was just going to look if there was anything else fun to talk about. State of emergency declared in California as catastrophic storm hits. Okay, this is a fun headline. Donald Trump, young thug, a rapper, and a Georgia law that threatens to jail both for years. What is it? Small concrete prison cell in Atlanta. Luminary City's celebrated rap scene has been languishing in isolation for months. Young Thug's lawyer has repeatedly tried to free him, arguing he's been deprived of sunlight, sleep, fresh air, and human content. Lights stay on 24 hours a day, no space to do any real exercise, musicians surviving on healthy snacks like chocolate and shit. Well, if I don't know about the food's probably bad, but if he's in solitary with lights on 24 hours, that is torture. This is not hyperbole. That is literal torture that causes permanent psychological and in some cases physical damage. So 2018, he spent a week in jail for failing a drug test. And he got released. So under Georgia law, his alleged crimes are very serious. He's among accused members of Young Slime Life. That's a weird name for a gang. Charges include conspiracy to break the state's racketeering law, RICO, through gang activity. So they're accusing him of being a criminal, like his gang is a criminal conspiracy. If you're guilty, minimum jail terms 5 years and maximum 20. And Trump was charged with breaking the same law. Yeah, he he is actually in serious fucking trouble, which is awesome. I get what you're saying. Yes. I am an apostate in Melbourne, subject to the same harsh conditions as in religious theocracies because I don't follow the football. So I'm an outcast. Oh my God, that's so fucking yummy. So yeah, Trump now being facing trial for 4 different things. The Georgia one is really serious. Being charged under an organized crime statute where, yeah, what Trump did fits the letter of the law. And yeah, they spent 2 years bringing everything together. Here's the thing, there is literally no way in the world they would have brought these charges unless they were confident they would gain a conviction. He's in so much trouble. And here's the fun. There are a few fun elements. Hey, Justin, by the way, there are a few fun elements in this Georgia law. If Trump is found guilty, the minimum jail time is 5 years, and he cannot be pardoned. There's no. You think about U.S. president pardoning; they can only pardon federal crimes. He cannot be pardoned. Like I think even the state governor can't reverse it. Yeah, they changed it. I think the legislature can actually. The governor can't issue an executive order. The legislature can. Going to do a quick search. Who controls Georgia legislature? It's okay, Republican majority. Okay, so again, I'm hardly an expert in this, so take it with a grain of salt. But from what I was reading, the legislature, if Trump is convicted, if Trump's convicted, the legislature could reverse it, and it's a Republican-controlled legislature. So who knows? Call me crazy, Justin. I don't think, for a number of honestly good reasons, I don't believe Trump will be held pending trial. Ooh, Megaleech posted a vid on the Discord. All right, well, I won't play it on the stream because I don't want to get a copyright thingy. So can Trump conviction in Georgia be overturned or pardoned? Okay. Yeah, headlines. A pardon won't save Trump if he's convicted in Georgia. Why Trump cannot seek a pardon in Georgia? Could Trump be pardoned in Georgia? All right, I'm going to look at one thing. After news broke of Trump's indictment, possible spectacle of a trial on TV, which, yeah, again, the trial would be televised. So they want to keep the case in Fulton County. Trump's legal teams expected to rely on a little-known legal statute to argue the case should be moved to a federal court. That jurisdictional question could delay a trial for months. A conviction in Fulton County would leave Trump facing years in prison time with no clear pathway to pardon. State law generally requires cameras to be permitted in courtrooms to cover judicial proceedings, which is in stark contrast to federal courtrooms. Statute allows federal officials to have a state case moved to federal court if the matter is of concern for or relating to any act under color of such office. So Trump's legal team are expected to argue that. Federal judge will be called upon to determine whether Trump's case will remain in state court. If a judge rules in Trump's favor, case will move out of Fulton County, killing the possibility of a televised trial and altering the legal stakes. If Trump's motion is successful, case could be federal, and a ruling might ultimately result in dismissal of charges. States aren't allowed to arrest federal officers for performing federal duties. The issue is not did he do the acts. The issue is it part of his official conduct? Is it his official conduct to overturn an election? Oof. There's warranted skepticism Trump's effort will prove successful. They attempted to make a similar argument in New York, where he's facing felony charges falsifying business records. Federal judge rejected the argument. Hacks did not qualify under color of his office as president. New York and Georgia cases are different. And professor at University of Georgia School of Law predicted a federal judge would issue a ruling keeping the case in state court. Even if the case does stay in state court, legal wrangling over state versus federal jurisdiction could theoretically stretch on for months, jeopardizing preference for a quick trial date. If Trump were convicted in Georgia, he could not be pardoned by a sympathetic president because the charges were filed at state level. In Georgia, the governor does not even have the power to issue pardons. Duty lies with the state's Board of Pardon and Paroles. According to Carlson, Trump could not even apply for a pardon until he's been convicted. He can't apply for a pardon until he's been convicted and served 5 years. Holy fucking shit. He's also been attacking judges and stuff, which can be a whole different charge. Oh, okay. Megalich's posted on the Discord a YouTube channel that's great for following the Trump train wreck. There you go. So, yeah, at this point, Trump has got to be fucking losing it because he's at serious risk. And as I said, there is no way whatsoever the Georgia prosecutors would have brought these charges frivolously. They would only have brought these charges if they were overwhelmingly convinced they had evidence that would convict Trump under law. For all the talk of, oh, it's politically motivated and whatnot, it's like, nah. They are actually really sure they're going to get him. It's, man, God, that's going to be a shit show. Like, because you just know some of the Trump supporters are going to commit terrorist acts because they already have in the past. They've killed people. So you just fucking know that one or multiple of his supporters are going to commit terrorist acts. Oof. Man, what sort of security would there be around the court? My God. It's pretty wild shit. Yes, it is fun. The word unprecedented gets thrown around a lot, but this is literally unprecedented. Sorry, Justin, what's... Well, see, that's the whole thing. That is why the um, uh, people running this prosecution want the trial to go ahead quickly. They want it to be over before the next presidential election. They may not get their wish. And again, look, predicting any of these elections is a mug's game. But I think, because Trump supporters say all this shit about him still being able to be elected as president and whatnot. Put him under house arrest in the White House. Biden beat him in the last one because people had just had enough. Like, Biden was such an unappealing candidate, but a lot of anti-Trump people were woken up and like, oh my God, no, a second Trump term is a nightmare. And here's the thing. I think the Biden administration has done a much better job than most people expected of them. I personally had extremely low expectations. I think they've done better. So I think it'll be a combination of people being sort of slightly relieved the Biden administration has done better than you might have thought they would. And the idea of a Trump presidency is just too much of a nightmare. Like that, the fringe element, which is about, I don't know, 20% of the US population, is definitely gonna just like super aggressively, get out and vote for Trump if they can. But I think enough establishment Republicans, if Trump got the nomination, would just be nah. With all these criminal trials, it's just too much, and I think Biden would get reelected. All this said with a huge asterisk. I don't know what I'm talking about, and predicting stuff like this is a mug's game. But I don't know. I think there's enough evidence to suggest Trump would not win, even if he got the nomination from the Republican Party. But what do I know? What do I know? What have I got here? Just having, because I've got all these pre-bottled drinks, and rather than mix up an entire drink, I'm just having little splashes of things because they're yummy. Yeah, Justin, I kind of side with you. A combination of the concept of a second Trump term turned out way more Democratic voters than people were expecting. And Trump has just devolved so much into such an appalling shit show. I think a reasonable chunk of Republican voters would just be going, you know what? I can't. I just can't. That was funny because like Schwarzenegger, who's a Republican and got the California governorship under actual conservative policies, like with economics and whatnot. In terms of him being a Republican, the policies he went under were actually business-oriented conservative economic policies, as opposed to hysterical culture war, bigoted bullshit, which is wild. So it's hardly surprising Schwarzenegger's gone like, no, fuck Trump, because he is a Republican. He's a deep Republican, very much believes in conservative political ideology, and that's just not what Trump is. Trump is just creepy, fucking far-right populist hate mongering. He's a nightmare, basically. But we'll see. I mean, we live in extremely fucking strange times. Fucking yum. Been drinking very different things tonight. Oh, did he do a video about gerrymandering? I swear to God, some of the gerrymandering in the US is off the charts. Like it defies belief. The extreme, blatant, it's criminality. There's no other word for it. Well, there are other words for it. I think the most accurate word for it is criminality. You look at how some districts are divided up, and the shape is just ridiculous. And it's like to uh, marginalize people who are more likely to vote Democrat. It's just fucking wild. What was really funny, Justin. I'm sure you remember it. I certainly remember it. Democrats like losing their fucking mind about Schwarzenegger. Because it was also a special election, like they impeached a Democratic governor and whatnot, and Democrats were like losing their minds about it. And with the benefit of hindsight, Schwarzenegger is so much better than the overwhelming majority of major Republican candidates that have been there in the win. Oh, nice. Strictly Sega, you posted the gerrymandering vid on the Discord. And it's Arnie. Professor Schwarzenegger on gerrymandering. Nice. Oh, okay. The visuals he's using those traditional visuals. I've seen those, yeah. Like seriously, but if you really get into it and look at some of the voting maps in the US where the gerrymandering is like out of control, you look at what the okay, is that the fun one, Justin? Illinois' 4th congressional district. Let's do it. Let's look up Illinois 4th congressional district. Images. Oh yes. So wait, filter. Just I want a large image. All right. Okay, I'm going to share this because this is the whole thing. Where are we? Like, look at the shape of that district. That defies belief that someone would say, oh, no, that makes sense as the people we're counting in a particular district. Like, you just look at that and go, that is premeditated to section off a particular group of voters. And I will stress, it's not like this is limited to one party either in the US or anywhere in the world, but there is some in the US, and the worst ones seem to have been done by Republicans. Although Illinois, Chicago, I feel like that's a really Democrat place. I don't know who did this. It's just, it's ridiculous. So I'm going to see if I can find some background for it. Okay, so the Wikipedia entry says, okay, no, the Democrats did this one. Okay. I thought with Chicago it would be Democrats. Geographic boundaries. Redistricting after the 1990 census. Mayor and governor wanted a Latino district. Republican Dennis Hastert, who turned out to be a sex offender, claimed the congressional map was unconstitutional. Three-judge panel federal court adopted the map proposed by Hastert and other Republicans. Subsequent lawsuits challenging redistricting as racially biased did not succeed. The districting is sometimes less than 50 meters wide, and parts covered no more than city one. Oh, no, wait. Okay, so was it actually the Republicans who got it? I'm trying to work this out. Just funny, Dennis Hastert came out, turned out to be a sex offender and protecting other sex offenders in the Republicans. I think he's in prison. I'm not sure. Okay, that's actually less informative than I thought. Although, I do want to look up Dennis Hastert, former politician and convicted felon. No, it was the Republicans who did that. Okay. They did that complete bullshit thing so in a super Democratic area, they could still win a seat. He was the longest serving Republican speaker in history. He was sentenced to 15 months in prison for financial offenses related to sexual abuse of teenage boys. There you go. Republicans. Ooh, I almost clicked the wrong button and ended the broadcast. Looks like a crocodile head from an Atari game. So do we have shit like this to try? Yes and no. Like, yes, we do. No, not as bad. Yes, Dr. Abigail, gerrymandering. That's the topic of conversation right now. I think politicians of all stripes around the world are guilty of it, but holy crap, there is some extreme cases in the US. Actually, I just thought of a related search I could do. Who does gerrymandering benefit in the USA? Okay, I found two interesting things. First, I'm going to look at what Wikipedia says. Examples of gerrymandered U.S. districts. North Carolina's 12th Congressional District. Predominantly African Americans who vote for Democrats. California's 23rd. Ooh, actually was radically redrawn. California's 11th. Strain projections and counter projections of other districts. Mild but reliable packing. Favorable to Republicans. California's 38th. Democrat, who ran unopposed. District was redrawn. Texas's controversial 2003 partisan gerrymander produced District 22 for Tom DeLay. Packed seat Republicans. All right. 2 necks and a counter projection. Illinois' 4th. 2 mainly Hispanic areas, I should say. Okay, so there's some weird. Now, the gerrymander myth. I feel like this is a conservative site, the Brookings Institute. Here's a simple measure. Each party ends up with another seat. It's kind of like when a conservative outlet says there's definitely no gerrymandering. That's like this huge red flag going, there's definitely gerrymandering. I do also agree, Dr. Abigail. If the US was any other country, the US would be sending in troops to restore democracy. I don't think this is going to come out. How much longer have we? Oh, we've still got 40 minutes. This might come. It's not sounding like it's going to come out. My ice. Okay, that's neat. So yes, the Australian Electoral Commission does boundaries. Yeah, it is absolutely surreal in the US. Political parties who are in power get to decide the borders of those districts. It's fucking wild. It's like you're actually asking people to gerrymander. It's fucking ridiculous. Yeah, so I think that conservative site I found that said there's no gerrymandering. That's a real pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. It's oof. They don't realize how obvious they're being. All right. So, is there anything else? Musk's latest antics draw cringes and beg the question, is he out of touch? Of course he is. Elon Musk is straight up fucking embarrassing. All right, I'm just going to try and do something, and I don't know if this will work. No cookies. You have cookies turned off. Yeah, okay. It's like, I have basic security settings, so I can't look at your website. Okay, well, you can also suck my dick. Ooh, neat. New COVID strain, most deadly since Omicron. What's ABC News say about it? BA286, nicknamed Pirola. Detected in Denmark, Israel, UK, USA. Seriously, if it's in USA, it's world fucking wide, just because the people traveling. But anyway, large number of mutation, variant under monitoring. World Health Organization called for global review of the strain's epidemiology, tracking of its characteristics and spread. So it goes 3 levels of variant under monitoring, variant of interest, and variant of concern. If it elevates to variant of concern, that means a bigger response. So there are apparently 7 variants under monitoring and 3 variants of interest. We don't know how bad it is. Number of mutations warrants attention. Wasn't expected to behave differently from other Omicron strains. Even in a worst case scenario, where it causes a major new wave of cases, we're not expecting to witness comparable levels of severe disease and death that we did earlier. Most people on Earth have been vaccinated or infected, I should say. A major wave would be an unwelcome event. Fuck. Why has it been nicknamed Parola? As of March, who decided to use Greek alphabet names? As far as who's concerned, there's no official non-numerical name for variants. Some scientists have just naming variants to make them easier for the public to understand. Should have nicknames. We could draw them from astronomy. Name appears to have been suggested by a person who's on Twitter. I refuse to call it X. Fuck Elon Musk. So Parola is an asteroid near Jupiter. And it's close to both Pi and Rho, which would likely be the designations given by World Health Organization. Great. So another potential COVID variant. Woo! Something to look forward to. What else? Young couple bid against themselves. Why did they do that? They topped their own bid by 50,000. Hardly counts when it's 3.5 million. Had a guide of 3 million and got 3.5 million. Because this is why people hate real estate agents, because it was advertised as probably going for 3 million, but they knew the owners actually had a reserve of 3.5 million. They weren't going to sell it for less than 3. The fucking real estate agents are fucking liars. Australians' internet providers are ditching email to the disgust of older customers. What does this mean? Someone with IINet, same email address since the 1990s. For millennials and younger, the notion of getting your email address from the company you pay for broadband might seem antiquated. Because people go for free things. Yep, I've been using Gmail since for fucking ever. So there'll be TPG. Users can keep their existing email address, get it free for the first year, then there'll be payment required or an ad-based service. Dang. Okay, this is a shitty move by ISPs, quite honestly. About when we reach the global resource limit each year, we go into lockdown to the end of the year. Honestly, fun idea. You'd be happy with the 6-month lockdown? Okay. Yeah, Google first floated that a long time ago, and people treated it like something. But it's like literally like the account has to have been not used for a very significant number of years. Is it 2 years or 5 years? And that includes YouTube. So essentially, a lot of old YouTube videos are going to end up getting deleted. It will save Google a lot of money. Justin, you haven't gotten COVID? Mrs. Angry hasn't either, nor has Young Ms. Angry. And I've only had it once. So so it's 2 years. Okay. So many throwaway Google accounts. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, it basically means a lot of old videos on YouTube are going to be deleted because, Christ, the accounts have been inactive for more than a decade. It is what it is, I guess. I drink some Wasser. Oh, there you go. A Big Pond doing it too with the emails? I technically have a Big Pond email that I absolutely have never, ever, ever used. Because they never gave me a choice in what to use for it. See, and that's what's going to upset a lot of people, Strictly Sega, because there are a lot of videos up on YouTube of people who have died, and they will go away. And that upsets a lot of people. But it's kind of like when a company makes an economic decision, it's very hard to get them to change their mind because they're just thinking about money. And Google could potentially save an absolute fucking fortune by deleting dead accounts on Google and YouTube. And yeah, strictly Sega, there will be definitely people who are very justifiably sad about it, but I don't know if there's going to be an appeals thing, like particularly for YouTube. They might do a thing where you could do an appeals thing, like please don't take down these videos for this reason. But yeah, you're kind of up against it when a big corporation is making an economic decision because they've already done. Oh yes, Justin, what happened? I do actually have the details for my account written down. Yeah, it's an interesting question. I feel like inevitably Google and YouTube will cease to exist eventually. Whether that takes 5 years or 50 years. I mean, I could be wrong, but it's ephemeral. And honestly, yes, the internet is just other people's computers. I've got a whole bunch of stuff. And no, I have not made an If I'm Dead video. Given my age, maybe I should. But also the thing is just like in the first wave of COVID, like Mrs. Angry had a will made and updated. I didn't. It's got nothing to leave, but also it was a freaky and unsettling idea to me, which is kind of pathetic on my part, honestly. So, it is what it is. It's the old question of will there be anything left for future archivists? Like on one level, digital media might survive really well, but on another level, it might not survive at all. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. Do we just accept that all this stuff we're doing is ephemeral? Because the overwhelming majority of stuff that was aired on TV no longer exists. It wasn't saved. I hesitate to put a figure to it, but it's definitely a really significant majority. Somewhere between 70 and 90%, maybe even more, of everything that was ever broadcast to television no longer exists in any form. So maybe that's just the way of things. Digital media is like broadcast media, and it's ephemeral. Yep, and because videotape was a limited resource, like even a lot of old Doctor Who no longer exists because the BBC reused a bunch of videotape. They didn't think it was important to archive. Well, AZ basically did. There's no end of videos of AZ talking about, life, death, the afterworld, and all such things. But I mean, he would have done it if he wanted to. I kind of get the vibe he didn't want to acknowledge. Well, actually, no. There are definitely videos where he acknowledges the inevitability of death and is not particularly scared by it. I was strictly saying it's a funny thing because, okay, like I mentioned, the BBC wiped their tapes of Doctor Who, but a significant amount of lost Doctor Who episodes have shown up around the world because, like tapes were sent, it's going to be broadcast in different countries, Australia, other parts of the colonies, the empire, and people kept tapes that they probably shouldn't have. But then it came down to years like this one's missing, and someone went, I kind of kept copies of that. And so some stuff was, do you, Justin? No. I think young people don't even think about death. Fear might be too strong a word, but I think the older you get, the more likely you are to think about death. Oh, nice. You had recordings of the DGen Late Show, and which they didn't keep. Yeah, there you go. And also, because the Late Show, they were doing a lot of that live. So, like, I'm literally making this number up off the top of my head, but I feel confident in saying that probably 90% or more of everything that ever went to air on TV no longer exists. I also don't know how you'd measure it, quite honestly. Strictly saying, I think you're worried thinking about it because it's impossible to avoid. I actually think it's unhealthy to not think about it, to not acknowledge the inevitability of it. It's not very cheerful, though. It was a bit the Barbie movies in the trailer with all the Barbies are dancing and having a good time. In the middle of it, Margot Robbie's Barbie goes, "Do you guys ever think about dying?" It's like the least Barbie thing ever. And yes, a total buzzkill in Barbie world to just go, "Do you guys ever think about dying?" And I did see the Barbie movie last night, and it's very difficult to avoid spoilers because there's a lot of fun stuff in it that I didn't know was in it. Some very unexpected jokes and one-liners, but I don't want to spoil it for anyone who might see it. I just feel okay with saying that one about thinking about death because it's in the trailer. But I did enjoy this. My first visit to the cinema since June Part 1 came out. Went to gold class, so there were fewer people in the room. Oh, did I get popcorn? I got bottomless popcorn. Oh, you're going to go see it tomorrow. It's extremely entertaining. And they did have a bunch of rare and weird collectible Barbie and peripheral things in it, which is fun, including magic earring Ken. But I tell you what, okay, now this is a sad admission. I used to really enjoy getting food in cold class. Like you get like a selection of things, special price, you get like an entree and a main and a dessert. And they bring it in at various times during the film. And I'm never doing it again because it was shit. It was just so shit. What's happened with it over the years is it's gotten more expensive and less good. When this time, and it's more expensive again and less good again. So I'll never do that again. I probably still will go to like gold class because I like the comfy seats and the huge screen and the fewer people in there. Never getting the food is bloody awful. Like it wasn't always bloody awful, but it's gotten progressively worse. And last night was just a major disappointment. Mind you, we went to a cocktail bar across the way. I swear, next time I'm getting food from there. They do toasties and whatnot, but their cocktails were really good. We had a couple of cocktails before we went to see the movie. And so I was sober by the end of the movie. So I drove there because the Gold Class is nowhere near where I live. It was on Chapel Street in the Jam Factory. And so I drove there, parked, got cocktails, went to the cinema. Never getting the Gold Class food again. Used to always do it, really enjoyed it, and it's just gotten progressively more expensive and less good. And so, fuck it. Yeah, I tend to take stuff in, but not in Gold Class because I would get this stuff and it was like, yeah. But I think next time I'll get something to eat before going into the movies and maybe take a snack in because fuck them. There's even in the Gold Class, the Jam Factory, the Village Complex there, they even had this cocktail bar called Rocks, ROC apostrophe S. It was apparently named after someone who was involved in the early days of Village Cinema. And the first times we went there, and I'm talking about like 5 years ago or more, it was actually a pretty good cocktail bar. They had pretty good cocktails, and they were like okay with you taking one into the movie with you, and that was cool. And then they just fucked it. It's like they cut out all the interesting cocktails, and they just had bog standard booze, and they wouldn't let you take it into the movie. So it's like, oh, so you had something good, and I really liked it, and then you just fucked it. I assume it was uneconomical for them, giving them, and capitalism. So if something economical, they're going to cut it. The other potential case is they're just fucking morons who make bad decisions. I certainly don't rule that out, but tis what it is, as the saying goes. So never go to that place anymore. And in fact, it was closed. I think it might have closed permanently. There was a sign saying it was closed for a private function, but there was no one in there. So I suspect like they degraded it so much, just no one goes in there anymore, and they've closed it completely, which is sad because it was good, then it wasn't, then it's gone. The Gold Class food was good, now it's not. Hey, official Justin, how are you doing? You got in before the end of the stream. Nice. But it happens like of the various date night places. Yeah, I was talking literally about a very specific cinema. I went to see Barbie last night. But also because like Mrs. Angry and I do date nights, we got a whole bunch of places we go to. And it's funny, like one of them, because we've got enough that we rotate, so I only go to the places how often? Once every couple of months, 3 months. So go to the places, our favorite places, maybe 4 or 5 times, probably not more than 4 or 5 times a year, because it's, we go to different places every fortnight, whatever. So, but there's one that we quite liked. And one time I went there, seriously, they had they changed their cocktail menu. They had some very specialized in-house ones. They had 2 of the best cocktails I have ever had. Like they were fucking awesome. They were just so good, like 9.5 out of 10. Some of the highest ratings I've ever given a cocktail. They were so good. And so then, a couple months later, we were going back there again, and I'm like, oh, I'm so excited I'm getting the same cocktail. And they'd completely changed their cocktail menu, and they'd taken the really good ones off, and they couldn't make them because they had very specialized ingredients in there, and they'd really reduced the like signature cocktails, and it's like, oh. And so I was really disappointed. But the whole thing was the food and drink we had was good. But in my mind, I had built stuff up into we're going to have this, we're going to have this, we're going to have this. And then we couldn't get it. And I was so bummed out. Oh my God. God damn. I was, it was weird. Like, because my expectations were so high that even though what we got was good, it fell below these high expectations I had. So I was kind of bummed out by the whole night. It's weird how expectations will do that to you. It's kind of like, well, like we're talking about movies. Sometimes if people overhype movies, and so your anticipation of the movie um, is too elevated, you end up having a very disappointed experience when you go into the movie because it got impossibly hyped. And it's actually a good movie, but because your expectations had been hyped so much, it couldn't match that. And it's like, God damn. I am still talking about gold class. No, I was actually talking about, I'd stopped talking about gold class food and was talking about one of the restaurants Mrs. Angel and I go to, and they changed things. And it was still, okay, gold class was shit, and I'm never getting it again. And but this restaurant, it was still really good. That was the funny thing. Yeah, but it was the whole thing was undermined because my expectations were up here and they weren't met. Oh, because Barbie is scarily woke. As Ben Shapiro is such an embarrassment. He's such a fucking loser. But Barbie is incredibly woke. There was lots of feminism, lots of anti-patriarchy stuff, including about how patriarchy hurts men. There were disabled Barbies and different race Barbies, but that's because those Barbies exist. But yeah, Ben Shapiro is so fucking embarrassing. Oh, okay. Now look, okay, I'm going to be super negative. The Pancake Parlor, really overpriced, I think. I have gone to Pancake Parlor on many occasions. I also agree I would get very full. I also think Pancake Parlor is really overpriced for what it is. Okay, see, we're talking technology, and I don't know what this is. This film's a 4K, but mega action scenes with heaps of CGI rendered at 180, 1080, and then upscale. I don't know. I have no idea. Although I did find out one of the cinemas, the cinema in Brighton, we would go to semi-regularly pre-COVID. They had like digital system, and we're watching a particular movie, and the air conditioning was broken, and it was summer, and it was fucking, oh, it was like really intolerable. And it's like sitting there, and then the heat started to get to the the computer that was running the digital, and it started breaking up. And I just went to Mrs. Angry. Okay, fuck this. I was not sure I was gonna survive just because of the heat, but now the heat is causing technical problems. Fuck it, let's go out and get our money back. And we went out and said, yeah, I need my money back. And the person went, no, you in like cinema too? And I went, yeah. I said, yeah, the air conditioning is broken. Like, yeah, not surprised it's too hot for you. And I said, oh, that's not why we're saying we want our money back. It's because the projection equipment's breaking down. And they went, what? And while we were having this conversation, the entire cinema emptied because apparently it just died completely. And we were just the first ones. as it started to fuck up, like it was just breaking up and whatnot. And I just went, no, I can't stand the heat. And now the fucking thing's fucking up. No, let's go and get our money back. And yeah, we discussed with the people at the snack bar where you get the tickets. We were with them just long enough for it to packing completely and the entire cinema to empty. Oh yeah, no, okay, well, I agree, Justin. Pancake Parlor, very overpriced. I will fully say I enjoyed myself when I was in there. You were at the Pancake Parlor just last Wednesday. Session Zero review called Session Hero. Yes, it is very. Yeah, I probably have never really had complaints about the quality of Pancake Parlor stuff, but it's so expensive for what it is. You know what? I had a good time. I mentioned this when the Dubbo lads were here a couple of weeks ago, and I was showing them about. I very arbitrarily chose Asian Beer Cafe, which is just next to Pancake Parlor in Melbourne Central, and it turned out to be a really good choice. The food there was perfectly serviceable. It wasn't fantastic. It was cheaper than other places, and it was fine. Like I had like a Parma and a cider, and it was lunchtime on a Saturday, and they had a deal, and it was pretty freaking good. And yes, I think Parmas at other pubs would have been better, but they were literally 50% more expensive. So they were much more expensive, and the drinks were more expensive in the other places too. So the Asian Beer Cafe, good choice. Also, I noticed that they have cocktails on tap, which I think are mainly booze and sugar. But they are like 10 cocktails on tap. And you can get these things, they call them towers. It's these really tall plastic things with a tap on them. And it's like a ice-filled cocktail. It's meant to be. And they do some party thing where it's like, oh, you can get 4 of these towers and bunch of food and stuff. It's like for when you're having a big table. So I was with the 2 lads and we're having a couple of drinks, and these 2 ladies got on a table near us, and they each had like a frozen cocktail. So it's like a frozen margarita or a frozen daiquiri or something. And they had one of these fucking towers, which has a lot of drinks in it. And I assumed someone was going to be joining them. But no, they were by themselves. So when it got to the stage, like half an hour later, I realized, no, they got the frozen cocktails and the big tall thing. Whoa, they're just getting fucked up on a Saturday lunchtime. So official Justin, everyone's putting prices up. That's a common thing for those chains. The size of the pizza gets smaller and the price goes up. Yes, you think the quality's still not there. I pay more than Domino's for pizzas because I've mentioned this before. There are several extremely good independent pizza places just really close to me. And yes, they're more expensive than Domino's, but it's like, not here for a long time, here for a good time. So I'm going to just pay that bit extra and just get a good fucking pizza. I also have a bit of habit of getting pizza bases from the supermarket and then adding my toppies. I did that for lunch. Actually, I slept in today. Sunday. Why the fuck not? So it was like after 10 by myself, I dragged myself out of bed. So I've certainly recovered any sort of sleep deficit I might have had. And then I realized I'm not that far off lunchtime. You know what? I'm having brunch rather than having breakfast and then lunch an hour later. And I got one of the pizza bases out of the freezer and put extra toppings on it and just whacked it in the air fryer, aka the large toaster oven, and had pizza for brunch today. I regret nothing. It's very therapeutic. So yeah, official Justin, you have a good Italian nearby, maybe 50% more. Yeah, it's just a thing. And I think that's probably fair. The ones I go to are probably 50% more expensive than Domino's, but it just doesn't compare. Like, this is an actual good pizza. I am going to enjoy eating it. And Domino's is shite. So we're at this stage, okay, we're only 5 minutes from the end of the stream. And this ice never came out of here. It's exactly what I suspected was going to happen. I think I took this out of the freezer 4 hours ago. I'm glad I got my ice sphere out. The ice sphere is incredibly sexy. I might use that in a video later in the week. I do think Krusty's not bad. They have some interesting options. But again, Krust is a smaller chain. Like the three that are near me, they're literally independent. They're just, one off, and they are run by Italians as well. So, oh my God, they all have their different specialities. One does these calzones, like folded over sealed pizzas. Their calzones fucking rock. Dr. Abigail, I would definitely take Pizza Hut over Domino's. I don't think I've had Pizza Hut for a very long time, but I would definitely take Pizza Hut over Domino's. Ooh, official Justin, wood-fired, melt in your mouth, crispy edges. Yes. Yeah, again. So yeah, I'm spoiled for choice with pizza. So it's down to my mood which of the three I would go to, because they're all good and they've all got like their own specialities. I do tend to agree, official Justin. I'm not in love with Crust. Crust is okay though. They're certainly more interesting and better quality than Domino's. So we're all just talking about pizza. I'm not going to eat pizza as much as it's always pizza time. I'm not going to have a pizza this late at night, even though it kind of sounds like a good idea, quite honestly. Sexy clean ice. Man, it was so fucking yummy. Different things in the glass. I'm also being nice to Mrs. Angry. She gets to use the orange peel in her hot chocolate in the morning. It's been flavored. Strictly Sega is actually on DoorDash. Looking for something right now. Nice. Oh yeah, and yes, Dr. Abigail, you're not far from Lygon Street. Oh my God, we have to do that. What was that fucking distillery on Lygon Street? Fossey's. We have to do that one time. Maybe before a live stream one time. Because that Fossey's distillery just had really interesting stuff that I really want to taste. Also, Lygon Street pizza. I definitely side with Dr. Abigail. I would have Pizza Hut way over Domino's. Way over Domino's. Again, I don't think I've had Pizza Hut for many, many, many years. I always feel like I'm being a hipster when I say things like, I haven't had McDonald's in 20 years. I haven't. Of the big chains, I probably had KFC most recently, actually. Every now and then I like popcorn chicken. It's fucking trash, but I like... In fact, I reckon the popcorn chicken you get from the supermarket that you cook yourself is better than KFC popcorn chicken. But honestly, sometimes KFC will do this special where it's like a thing of popcorn chicken this fucking big for $10, and you're like, well, how do I say no to that? I'm just getting a stupidly large thing of popcorn chicken and some chips. Ooh, smashed hamburger. Nice. Nice. I don't know what red grasshopper is. Red grasshopper pizza. That is actually, yes, official Justin, because Domino's and Pizza Hut are franchises, whoever's running it definitely makes a difference. Definitely. That is a true word. It's the quality of Domino's is not universal. The quality of Pizza Hut is not universal. You can have a bad Pizza Hut and a good or better than average Domino's. That is definitely true. But just as broad measurement, I would definitely, not even a little bit of hesitation, put Pizza Hut above Domino's. Like it would just the idea of getting something from Domino's goes to me. Ooh, what, really? Mind you, honestly, if I'm going to be really honest, getting something from Pizza Hut makes me think that too. It's like, no, I don't want to do that. Why would I do that? That's a terrible idea. I don't want to do that. All right, so Dr. Abigail, you really like it. It's just never occurred to me because I've got these independent ones here, and I just go, yeah. Oh, again, I think Italians would agree with you, Official Justin. It's not real. Strictly saying, when you live in Melbourne, New York pizza, like a giant. Well, that's not New York pizza if it's a giant rectangle, but thin crust. I get it. Yeah. Oh, I've got to do. There's one I've seen it got advertised to me on Facebook, and it's not far from where Dr. Abigail lives. But they're saying that they do 3 styles of American pizza: the New York one, which is a huge sort of thin crust one, Chicago style, which is the thick. I've still never had that, and one they call Detroit style, which is apparently cooked in a square pan, and it's kind of like Pizza Hut pan pizza. So I definitely have to try that out at some point. It's like the other side of town to me, but I do like to go over there occasionally. Like we did do a stream from there a while back, not long ago. Clear ice. You're so sexy. Look at this. Yeah, you almost can't see it. There is ice in there. There's a big chunk of ice still in there. But it's clear. Oh, God, it's after 10. Okay. So we've got to that time of the night. Time for the ceremonial eating of the cherries, which I accidentally got 2 of them. Oh, woe is me. You know what? Okay, Friday night, which I didn't get that shit-faced, but we went to like 1 a.m. and I was pretty tired. I went there. I forgot to eat the cherry on Friday night. And in the morning, it was there, like it was still in the glass, and the ice had melted, and the cherry's there. I thought, I'll just eat the cherry now. It's like the cherry had soaked up the water instead of the booze flavor. It's not great. I was very disappointed. That's still got its integrity. Yum. So good. Oh, fucking yum. So good. Doesn't really taste like booze, just tastes like cherry and sugar. Yum. It's so fucking good. Gets watery if I forget it. All right. Strictly say you're going to check on a movie. Enjoy your movie. We'll talk about viewing. What did I watch today? Sunday Crasher. I've been watching Justified City Primeval, which I'm enjoying because I like Justified. Been rewatching BoJack Horseman. I'm almost finished the 5 seasons, and I've started watching Good Omens season 2, which I'm enjoying. But anyway, I'll see you fine folk probably on Tuesday, unless that ends up being takeaway night with the young ones again. Tomorrow night with Mrs. Angry, I'm probably watching Star Trek. And we're watching a couple of other things. We're watching Reservation Dogs, and we started rewatching Andor as well. Oh, nice. Now we're rewatching Picard. Good. Enjoy that. So I'll see you fine folk another time whenever you're around. I'll be around on either Tuesday or Thursday. We'll see what happens this week. So you all take care, and I'll